the value of community was so important right from the off. And to speak, to engage, and to speak as Lyndsay. So I wasn't just NeoWalk. I was actually Lyndsay, and I have a disability. So I can speak, I know what you're talking about, and I can agree, and I can have an opinion. And it was so important. With leadership, I worked on my own for so long. So with leadership within the company, I've only had staff probably for the last 4 years, but very much by example, which is what I'm sure you would do and
Oh,
you
yeah.
do. You
Yeah.
lead by example. So I always lead by, I speak to people how I want to be spoken to.
Three things you will learn from this episode today. Number one, how to turn personal adversity into a global movement for change. Number two, why accessibility and style are not mutually exclusive, they are powerful together. And number three, the leadership lessons of resilience, reinvention, and unapologetic individuality. Welcome to this episode of the Heartbeat for Hire podcast. I feature Olympians, CEOs, disruptors, authors, professional athletes, and the best of the best, where they share their stories of resilience with my lens on leadership and culture. Let's get started. What do you get when you combine an award-winning entrepreneur, NDA Entrepreneur of Excellence, and Northern England Businesswoman of the Year, a fierce defender of inclusivity and diversity, a designer turning mobility aids into bold fashion statements, a survivor who transformed personal loss into global empowerment, and a creator whose walking sticks are carried by stars like Christina Applegate and Selma Blair? You get Lyndsay Mitcheson, the unstoppable force behind NeoWalk. After losing her leg to a catastrophic infection, she refused to let mobility define her limitations. Instead, she redefined what mobility could look like: bold, colorful, confident, and unapologetically stylish. Today, she's not just designing walking sticks, she's redesigning how the world sees disability, proving that resilience and creativity can spark a movement that's changing lives worldwide. And oh, by the way, we have the same name and it's spelled the same way, and this never happens. Welcome to the show, Lyndsay.
Oh, thank you. And you know what? When I hear an intro like that, it doesn't feel like you're talking about me, but it sounds like somebody I'd like to meet.
Well, I'm so glad that I got to meet her. I think your story is pretty incredible, which is why I wanted to have you on the show. And that is exactly where I want to start. So, for those that don't already know you, would you please share your story?
Yeah, so I'm blessed that I've actually spoken to Lindsay before. So this is a bit like we're just friends,
Old pals.
just having a chat here now.
Right.
But yeah, during surgery I was having knee surgery, and I contracted a catastrophic MRSA infection. This was back in 2007. Really mashed up my leg, messed up my leg. The surgeons saved my leg, so I actually left hospital with that leg. But I couldn't use it. I couldn't use it properly. It was painful. I couldn't bend it. I couldn't walk on it. So 3 years later, I chose to have the leg amputated, which isn't as hard a decision as people might think it is because I had already lost that leg. I'd lost the use of that leg 3 years previously. So yeah, made that decision, which was sort of big decision number one. And then found myself doing all these amazing, wonderful things as an amputee because I chose to embrace it. I chose to let me see where it would take me, what opportunities would come my way. And I was very blessed that the opportunities did come. So I trained as a circus performer. I got involved in the Paralympics in London. I was in a movie. I did lots of very strange things. And then I wound up in this amazing universe where I'm creating gorgeous walking sticks and sending them all over the world. And each person, hopefully, that picks up that walking stick thinks, oh my goodness, I feel like people can see me, and I don't mind if people see me, and I've got confidence, and I know I've got style, and I feel safe, and that I've just ended up in this amazing world, which
Yeah.
I'm very, very lucky.
Well, I had to walk with a cane once after I got my hip replaced. Actually, it was before I got my hip replaced because I was in massive, massive pain. And mine was cute, and it was pink, and it had rhinestones, and it was cute, and it was hard to find. I
Mm.
certainly did not know about NeoWalk at the time. But what inspired you to take something that so many people need and say, I'm not sticking with the same boring old thing. I want to create something way sexier and way more fun than, just the plain old orthopedic
That's
black
it.
cane.
Well, you hit the nail on the head. It was what I want isn't out there.
Yeah.
So I wanted, like you wanted something cute. I wanted something. I was in my 40s and
Yeah.
I found myself with, the prosthetic, and I just wanted something that reflected a bit of me.
Right.
And the ones that I could find said nothing about me. They just made me feel quite ashamed and
Yeah.
old and frumpy, and people would look and do the, have you ever had the, oh,
Mm,
that, the
the
head
pity
tilt
look. Yeah.
the pity.
Hmm.
People would look like that, and that just used to wind the hell up out of me. And I felt really aggrieved that we weren't being included,
Yeah.
that when you needed mobility aids like this, and you didn't have to look much further to see the other type of mobility aids that had been denied the sort of style injection. And I felt really aggrieved at it. And I thought, I can do better than this. I'm not a designer, but
Mhm.
I know something that looks nice. And I know what makes me feel good. And when I did it, and I created my first walking stick, and it actually made me feel really good. I was buzzing because people were looking at it and saying, "Whoa, what a
Where'd you get
nice
that? Right.
stick. Oh, where'd you get that?" And it really buoyed me up.
Yeah.
And I thought, I can give this to other people. This is a feeling that I want to give to other people.
Mm.
So that's how it started, literally.
So let's describe these walking sticks for folks because, and guys, please go out and go to her Instagram because there's so much good content that Lyndsay puts out, and you can really get a feel for everything that she does. But please describe it for the folks that aren't watching and the ones that are curious.
Okay, so we just had a very brief discussion before this in the green room about someone who was blind and how
Yes.
they
Dr.
describe
Hobie
things.
Wedler. Yes.
Let me see if I can describe it as a. So the first thing you'll notice is the feel of it. So it's very smooth. It's acrylic. It feels really silky almost. And when you hold it in your hand, it actually warms up because it uses the heat of your hand, and it feels so tactile and lovely. And then you'll notice the shape of the handle. So we've created handle shapes that are both comfortable and stylish. So we've got different ones that will suit hopefully everybody who has maybe pain in their hands or anything that they've got going on. And we also create loads of different colors. The colors are unstoppable. The colors are endless because it starts at clear and it goes all the way through to pink, to blue, to red, to orange, to yellow, to grey, to black. We go all the way through. And we've got ones that light up. We've got ones that have stripes in. We've got ones that have they're fluorescent. We've got ones that have glitter in. We've got some that are even octagonal. They're not even round. I should have mentioned the shape of them. Most of them are round, but some of them are octagonal as well. So there's just this host. Your senses get battered when you come to our website because you see all these new things and shapes and colors that you're just not expecting to see as in connection with a mobility aid. And I think what you said, Lyndsay, about our content as well, we advertise and we market in a way that you've never seen a walking stick advertised
Right.
before. So it just brings a whole new personality to the walking stick, and that's what we wanted to do because then we want you to find the personality that matches you.
Yeah, and you have a big following. This is not just like a little company that no one's ever heard of. I mean, we mentioned at the top, you've got some celebrities who have elevated your brand quite a bit. I know you work really closely with Christina Applegate
Yeah.
and you created something together. Can you tell that story?
So this was something very special. So Christina's come become a lovely friend of mine and of the business. Big supporter. She lives with MS. She's lived with MS for a few years now. She found that she needed a walking stick, and she was going to her first outing in public with a walking stick or a cane. You call them canes. You've got to be
Either
different.
one. Yeah.
So they reached out to us and said, Lyndsay, would you be able to design Christina a walking cane to go to this really special event, which is what we did. And I spoke with Christina about what her style was like. She's grungy. She's everything that you'd imagine her to
Yeah.
be, you know. So it had to involve black. It had to speak about her. And after we'd done that, I proposed that we created a walking stick that we could sell as a collaboration for people to support MS charities
Mm,
because we have our MS UK over here, you've got your MS USA,
100%. Yeah.
and we wanted to, every time we sold one of our walking sticks, which is called FUMS, and you don't have to be hard about that. Told you,
Not,
she's
it's not thumbs, everyone. It's
um,
FUMS.
she's some girl, is our Christina. So every time we sell one, we donate money to an MS charity. So it's supporting people who are living with MS, but it's also supporting the people who are trying to make the change and cure MS and make it a disease of the past. So that's just something that we really enjoy doing. Really, we really love doing it.
I love that story, and I actually remember seeing her get her Hollywood star, where she was holding one of your walking sticks, and both she and Selma Blair have brought them on the red carpet and really drawn some attention to your brand, which I absolutely love. So here's a question for you. I mean, never having brought a product to market, how did you go about that? How did you know how to do this? And I mean, if someone said to me, Lens, you're going to start making walking sticks, I would be like, out of what? And where do I get it? And there's so many
Yeah.
questions. So
And
how
what do
did
I
you
do with
start?
it? I mean, the first place to stop was having a website built. I knew that was going to be the main thing. So I set about having a website built really early on. Um, then it became about social media, I want to say, because social media was just taking off then.
Mhm.
These are very visual things, and people wanted to show how gorgeous they looked, and they wanted to show because they were proud of themselves with their walking canes. So they wanted to share pictures. So it did become a lot about social media. So I actually learned from my daughter how to massage social media and to make it work for us. A lot of engagement. So I spent a lot of time talking to people, engaging with their comments, putting up lovely pictures, encouraging other people to. I also found that initially it was a lot of word of mouth. So people were happy with what they had, and people were coming up to them and saying, "Oh, I love your walking stick. Where did you get it?" And they were happy to share details of where it came
Sure.
from. So we found this little ripple effect going on.
Well, and
Of,
stop and think for a second. If you're used to getting those pity stares, and all of
yeah,
a sudden somebody says to you, "Hey, that's a cool walking stick," they're looking at something else. They're
isn't
not
it?
looking at what you don't have, they're looking at what you do have. And that's a very
Exactly.
empowering conversation. Um,
It's it's
so,
and it's priceless for a person with a disability to know that someone is not looking at why you're using it. They don't
yeah.
care. All they want
Yeah.
to do is say, "Wow, where did it come from?" So yeah, that was how I started really.
So, what did that teach you about leadership and about really building a company? I mean, you've done so many things and so many weird things that I love. I mean, the circus and the movie and like that's so cool. But what did it teach you about leadership? Let's just start there.
So the first thing it taught me was about how important community is.
Right.
And that was my beginning of starting the NeoWalk community. And I learned very quickly how important it is that people feel they've got someone who's in the same boat as them. And I relate to that such a lot because in the circus, for example, I was put with, well, there was 40 different people. We had all sorts of disabilities, but I met several amputees there that taught me a lot about what I was able to do, taught me a lot about attitudes, about where I would be when I've been an amputee for 30 years, as some of them had been. Taught me a huge amount. So I think I felt the value of community was so important right from the off, and to speak, to engage, and to speak as Lyndsay. So I wasn't just NeoWalk. I was actually Lyndsay, and I have a disability, so I can speak. I know what you're talking about, and I can agree, and I can have an opinion, and it was so important. With leadership, I think. I worked on my own for so long. So with leadership within the company, I've only had staff probably for the last 4 years, um, but very much by example, which is what I'm sure you would do, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
do. You
Yeah.
lead by example. So I always lead by I speak to people how I want to be spoken to.
Yeah.
The customer isn't always right, let's face it.
Hmm.
They're not, but we try and accommodate it to make it that they are because we want them to come back and be a happy customer. So
Yeah.
very much about customer service and always led showing how I want our customers to be dealt with, how problems to be dealt with, and hard work. You
Hmm.
know, I put a lot of hours in, and the guys have seen me do a full day's work in the office and then carry on into the evening doing. And I don't recommend that people do that because it's a bit of a bummer on, your social life and it makes you tired. But when you're driven,
Yes.
it's your company and you're driven and you have the passion, it actually happens quite easily, and
Yeah.
these extra hours you don't mind doing them. So that's I've very much led from the front and showed people how I want them to work, and they do, and I'm blessed. I've got a great team.
Yeah. Well,
They're
from
amazing.
everything you've told me, they're almost as passionate as you are about the
Yeah.
work that they're doing. And I think anytime something really lights you up, you're gonna put in the time. You're gonna really, and it almost doesn't feel like work
No, it
because it's important
doesn't
and you understand what,
feel that hard, does it?
yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't feel that hard. You don't mind putting the extra hours in, and when you see something come back from it, and it's something specific you've wanted to finish,
right.
the satisfaction that you get. And I still get that satisfaction now when I finished a day
Mm-hmm.
in the office with the guys. I still feel I've enjoyed that, and I'm blessed that they're happy when they come to work. I
Yeah.
value them, and that's what I try and project to them, that they are a valued member of the company, their opinions valued. We have meetings every week. I ask them what they think about things that we're doing, and I always want them to go home feeling that they've spent the day where someone cares about them.
So good. So good. What were some of the lessons you learned in launching your company?
Um, go slow, especially at the beginning. I did. I was lucky with that. I didn't open with a load of colours. I think I opened with like 10 colours. So open slow. You've got to find that you've got a market out there.
Yeah.
And I kind of used myself as I was my target market.
Sure.
So and I knew that there were other people out there that were just like me because I could see them walking around the streets. I knew they were there. So very much find your market, go slowly. Don't don't overcommit too much capital, although you can't avoid it in the beginning.
Right.
Starting a business does involve capital, and it's very tempting to use your own capital. And at some point, that's great, but at some point, it tips over into no, you may need to seek funding if you're
Yep.
getting, bigger, and you don't want to invest all your own personal money in it. Although I do know in the beginning that's what I had to do. So yeah, I've learned hard lessons where you've got to think before you speak.
Mhm.
You've got to take advice from people around you. because they might be more right than you. And at some point, when you take on staff, you do actually have to hand your baby over and
Yeah.
you've got to trust other people with. And that's a really hard one.
And
And I think in the,
you have to let them do the jobs they were hired for. And
yeah,
that's really hard when it's something you care so much about.
yeah.
And to let go is not easy, but
uh,
it makes
And
you stronger.
it's tempting to micromanage and look over their shoulder, but you can't. You've just
Yeah.
got to trust them.
Yeah.
And you have to also let them make mistakes,
Yep.
which, is difficult, but that's part of learning a new job. So, yeah, I mean, it's up and down. It's a hilly road. It's a rocky road, but
Mhm.
you've got to ride that pony. You've just got to.
Agreed.
You really.
Agreed. Okay, so guys, I hope you're enjoying this conversation. And please go follow Lyndsay at NeoWalk. And if you love this show as much as I love putting it together, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go out to Spotify or Apple, leave 5-star reviews. They matter so much. They help me grow the show and they help me get great guests like Lyndsay. So, what inspires you, my friend?
Today, what inspires me? I've just come back from London Fashion Week.
Oh,
Do you know? And tell me, it was amazing. We had the best time. There was two of us went, and I saw, I mean, fashion. I love fashion. I mean, who
yeah,
doesn't love fashion?
yeah.
When I get up in the
Huge
morning,
fan.
I'm vaguely excited about what I'm going to wear for the day. And
Yeah,
and I really enjoy putting it all together. I love fashion and I love color and I love style, which is why I've ended up in the industry that I'm in.
right.
But inspired by so many people just freestyling and doing their own thing. Fashion out on the street is absolutely amazing, and it doesn't follow the rules of what's on the catwalk. But
Mhm,
I saw some amazing stuff on the catwalk as well.
mhm,
Fabrics made from silicone, and there was a lady came out, and her dress was just made of slugs. And it was like nothing I've ever seen. And it's just that's what I want to see. I want to see people playing and being creative. And that inspires me. And I try and do that in my life. I try and do that in my home decorating. I try and do that in work, so just being creative, pushing boundaries, that's what inspires me.
mm. Me too. I love all
Yeah,
that.
I
And
know you do. I
I
know.
mean to have a seat at any fashion week, I would think I would be beside myself. So it'd be so
I
great.
think at one point I squealed. I think
I, I'd be
oh.
squeal. I'd be like covering my mouth because I'd be
Yeah,
so excited.
yeah.
Um, so what would you like your legacy to be?
Hmm. I think about that sometimes. There's my little friend talking to me now.
Mm,
I want my legacy to be people remember that I was trying to spread good
mhm,
and that I was working for them and that I was driven by passion more than profit.
mhm,
I want people to remember that I did look funny and I did look quirky and I want people to talk about me after I've gone.
mhm,
I want people to laugh and just remember that I was kind. But I also I want people to remember the business. And hopefully the business will carry on for a long time beyond me. Um, but yeah, I want people to remember that we were trying to spread confidence and make people feel better about themselves because I think that that's lacking.
Well,
Um,
you're doing all of those things and you're putting beauty in a space that desperately needs it. And there is such a longing for hope and joy. And when you have a rough diagnosis like MS, or you find yourself unable to walk unassisted,
mm,
it sure is nice to have something that you really enjoy that
yeah,
brightens up your day. So I love
absolutely.
that you're doing that work. So what's next for you, Linz?
Next. New York Fashion Week, please bring
Oh,
it on. No,
yeah.
I mean, I'm dreaming. What's next? We are continuing to expand our ranges. We have a new handle shape coming out that we've invested a lot of our time and thought and yeah, we've put a lot of effort into this new handle, which I'm very excited about because it'll accommodate people maybe who can't take part in NeoWalk now. So Mom, Blanco, behind you.
Lyndsay has a gorgeous bird named Blanco who I got to meet at the top before we were recording. He almost made an appearance today. I think he wants to be on the show, so that's who she's
He
talking.
does.
He's
He did, yeah.
really cute.
My little friend, my little boy. But yeah, so maybe another parrot, who knows? Maybe I will in my personal life because I'm newly single. I've been single for 2 years now, but yeah, so who knows what might happen in my personal life, but I'm not planning on anything. I just want to enjoy my family. Maybe look forward to grandchildren if anybody's listening. Yeah, I feel like I've rediscovered myself. I lost myself in the sort of trauma that I went through, the divorce that I went through. I lost myself completely. And I feel like I've found myself again, which is lovely. And I feel comfortable again. Um, so yeah, I want to hopefully build on that. And who knows what the future's going to bring.
Well, you feel very grounded and very um, in your person, like just ready and open, and that energy is palpable. And I'm just so glad that I could have you on the show to tell your story and talk about NeoWalk. How can people find you, and where can they buy the walking sticks or canes?
Okay, so you can find us at neo-walk.com on the internet. You'll see people walking around the streets with them. Now I've described them to you. If you see someone with one, take notice of it and say, I know who made that cane.
Mm-hmm.
And you can find us on Instagram. We have a large following on Instagram, our community at NeoWalk Sticks. So come and join, come and read
Give
what
her
other
a
people.
follow. You guys will be highly entertained by her content. It's she uses real people, and the canes are beautiful, and they're just really fun to look at. So I just love that you're infusing so much joy into the world, and that's who you are as a person. So this has been so, so nice. So thank you for being a wonderful guest. And
Thank
guys,
you.
sit tight. We've got an audience question coming right up. Today's audience question is so apropos. So, what do you do if you're a leader and you have someone on your team with a hidden disability? This is a much more common thing than leaders realize, and it's your responsibility as a leader to check in with your people. And if you've been watching this show for a long period of time or you're new to the show, the favorite question that I always encourage leaders to ask is how can I be the best leader for you? And the follow-up to that is there anything I should know about you, or is there any way that you need specific support from me? When you ask that question, you may, if you've built trust, be told an answer that someone does have a hidden disability. That is not something you can share without permission. So, for example, if someone has a handicap parking space and maybe the team doesn't understand why they have a handicap parking space, it's not on you to tell the team why, but you do need to support the person who needs it. And hidden disabilities come in all shapes and sizes. They could have a seizure disorder, they could have MS, and MS has flare-ups. Some days are really tough and very hard to walk. Other days are easy breezy, but you can't predict when that's going to happen. So that might be why they have the parking space. Regardless, as leaders, we all have to do a better job of giving people space, understanding what they need, and how we can support them. Because when you are supported, when you have that trust, you will go above and beyond every time. I've done this myself for leaders that I respected, who gave me incredible autonomy. And I certainly have seen other leaders do the same. So I encourage you to go seek out how you can support the people on your team. It is a small thing, but it builds incredible trust. And trust is your currency. That is what helps you build absolutely irresistible culture. That's what people will respond to and thrive under. I wish you all the best luck in leading your teams. Get out there, lead with heart, have the best day. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell your friends about the show. It is my absolute joy that I get to do this. And go leave a 5-star review at Apple or Spotify. These reviews help us go up in ranking, help us attract sponsors. And this is just such an important piece of work that I do. We have to have better leaders, and you all play a part in that. Thank you for listening. Take care. Thanks for listening to this episode of Heartbeat for Hire. I hope you enjoyed what you heard. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel or consider leaving a 5-star review and a great rating at Spotify or Apple. Thank you so much for your support. Have a great day.